Hello again. Yeah, this is part 2 where we're going to do some bits and pieces just to get it ready to race again. Yeah, I'll show you what I've done and hope you enjoy. That's the broken mirror of the car. So this is a £10 mirror I bought, and I bought, that's about £4 for the glass cutter. So what I'll do is I'll take the frame off the mirror, stick that on it, mark round it, and then have a go at cutting it out with the glass cutter and see how that works. Because I've no idea where these mirrors came from. So I don't want to put new mirrors on it. And then I've got loads of spare. It wasn't as difficult as I thought to get the mirror out of the frame. So when you're doing this, it would be easy to mark it that way, but it's not going to work like that. So see how it goes at cutting it now. I'm going to put some oil on the cutter to see if that helps cut it a bit. I've not really done this before, so it'll be interesting to see how it works out. Well, that's the first attempt. I think we'll reject that one. You know, probably it would work, but yeah, I sort of didn't quite cut to the line. I got too excited, I just wanted to get onto it. Problem I'm having is the mirror was glued in to the frame, so I'm not getting it flat. I've got a bit of a, I don't know if you can see a crack on this bit as well. I might cut this corner off and then I can put this on the flat because yeah, it's still glue on it. Let's have a go on this one. Yes, I think that's a failure. I might be using that one after all in the end. I've scored round it with the cutter, gone all the way around, and I was trying to cut from here to the outside so you can break it off in sections, and there, but as I came off the glass, as the blade came off it, or the wheel, it hit the edge of the cutter, which caused it to crack. So let me try again. Yeah, that one actually cut, but I did break it again here. I'm getting better. Well, saying that, the first one was in a better piece. Let me try again. That's not big enough. Right, cut another strip off. Nailed it. Well, so nailed it. It's got a few rough edges, so I just need to get the. You can get a bit of sandpaper or a grinding disc, a sandpaper pad on the grinder, and just go around the edges, and it takes a sharp edge off. Just for like if you're cleaning the mirror once it's on, then yeah, you're not going to cut your fingers. I think that was my 4th attempt. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4th attempt. I didn't have any matchsticks. What I found the problem was, I'd watched a YouTube video where you score it and then you tap it, and that was causing it to break a lot. So in the end, I was just hooking that into the mirror and clicking it off, and that seemed to work much better. Now I've got to use a special type of glue to glue this onto there. And I've done this before where I've glued it on, and as I've pushed this onto the mirror, I've broken it. So this has been driven over a couple of times. I might clean that up. I might even glue this onto it. And then if I take a template off that and try not to lose it, then if I break it again, I can just glue another one on top of that. So I'll give that a go. Well, I've just done another drawn round it again, so I'll put that somewhere safe in the garage, hopefully. I've not got as much left as I thought I would have. I've got quite a lot of broken bits in there. But it's cost me £15 with the cutter and the mirror. And I've managed to get one out. If someone said I'll do your mirror 15 quid, I would have bought it. And now I've got a bit more knowledge because I know it's taken a few attempts to get it, but I've learned a bit from it. And I think one thing, I would buy a mirror that's not got a frame on it. I would have got one of those today, but there wasn't any in the shop I went to. I could have gone to another shop. I'm sure they're about, I've seen them in the shop, and they're probably cheaper as well. So yeah, I'd do that, and I'd always get more than more than I need, because yeah, my success rate has been quite low. But hopefully, if I have to do it again, it will improve. But yeah, I'd say as long as I don't break it when I'm sanding off the little nib on it and taking the edges off it, or putting it in, then yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it'll be a success. That's it in. I got the sander around the edges. It just sort of made them less sharp. I've just glued it in with it's like a silicone, it's CT1. So I don't know if that will damage the backing. Sometimes if you use the wrong stuff, it eats into the mirror finish and you start getting yeah, lose the mirror, but it'll probably get knocked off before it has time to wear out. So job done. Well, I've got the bumper. I've got some clamps on where the worst bits of the bumper are, where it's actually snapped. You can see how thin it's got, where it's split and gone back into its shape again. So all I'm going to do is get this glass fibre tissue. I've got a fiberglass kit with fiberglass hardener mixing thing. Just paste some matting onto the inside of the bumper to hold it all together. Build up this corner where it's missing, fill that hole. There's a bit down here as well where it's gone thin, where it's obviously split and gone wrong. So if I can reinforce it all on the inside, tiny little bit there, then let it set, and I can give it a quick sand on the outside, get all the loose bits off, and then fill it and coat paint, good to go. Well, I've put some of this matting on. It's not, usually it's like fiberglass strands, but this is rubbish, this stuff. It's so thin, and it just doesn't want to bend. Like the old fiberglass used to, once it got wet, you could push it into the corners, where this doesn't want to. So you can see there's like air under there. I pushed it down, pops up, pushed it down, pops up, so it's starting to go off now. Well, hopefully I've got enough on to hold it together while I take the clamps off, and then I can give it a few more coats and get a bit more into it. I've chopped the chin spoiler bit off it, which has reduced the weight quite a bit. Yeah, I've just got to fill the bits. I've given it a bit quick sand down where the fiberglass was all a bit broken. I have to just give this a little bit of a clean up where the cut is. Yeah, I don't think it was too low at the front. That's why it came off. It dug in. Well, it came off because I didn't put enough bolts in it. But it probably would have just ripped it off if I had if it was on more securely. So hopefully it'll go on, stay on. It looked a bit weird anyway with the. I think that looks alright. It was an M3 replica bumper, and it's not got the M3 body kit, so it just looked a bit odd. So I think it'll be better. Well, I hope it'll be better, like it is now. Right, that's yeah, more than needed. I'll just let it go hard now and give it a sand down. We're not doing showroom, we're doing usable, so I'm not overly concerned, but you know, I don't want it to look too bad. And it is Sunday, and I have been grinding and cutting outside, which is not very pleasant for neighbours. But yeah, I'll give that an hour and then give it a once over with the sander. Now I've sanded it down and just placed it on the car. It's got a couple more bits that need filling. I'm not sure how it looks yet. I'll have to get it out and see. That might be a little bit too short. Yeah, it's got to be fitted yet and pushed in, and I've got another lip to go on the bottom, which won't be as big as the one I've just cut off, so I could always try that one. Right, I've got to clean it up, prime it, well, find some filler, a little bit more filling, prime it, and then let it dry and paint it. It's prepared, well, it's filled, sanded, and I'll put a bit of primer on it. This is behind a number plate. I'm not going to go over the top with that. It's, yeah, it's better than it was. You never notice that when it's got a bit of mud on it. So I've just got the spray paint now. Well, it should be the same colour as the car, which is Renault Traffic White. So I'll get some paint on now. We're on, it's painted. It's yeah, it's where it should be. It's just I'm not sure if everything else is where it should be. This definitely seems to have gone back a bit, but I'm not fussed about that. The bumper is attached to the original bumper support. So I've gone through, I've just drilled a hole through the bumper and the bumper support and put a nylock nut on the back. Yeah, it shouldn't fall off. Before it was just held on with them 6 bolts right at the back, and they just ripped out because it wasn't a strong point. So paint job, it's on par with a lot of the rest of the car, which is acceptable for me. I think there's people who would have a bit more quality control than I have. But then it's done, it's ready to go now. I don't want to spend too much time and effort. That looks presentable to me, so I'm more than happy with that. Yeah, I did knock the wing over a bit yesterday. It sort of crept in. When I put it on, it was under quite a bit of tension when I bolted it down, so all the bumps and that, it's moved over a bit. The chassis is straight, but there's where the wing bolts on, it's still a bit misaligned. And I'd say the same for the bumper support. What I did was to get these measurements, I put a line up the wing so I knew whereabouts I had to drill, and I measured from the floor, and that was 25mm lower that side than this side. So I'm guessing the bumper bracket, which is on the end of the chassis leg here, I've had to modify that anyway to get it in the right place, but I presume it needs to go up. That would explain the gap there. It needs to go up a bit more. This needs a bit of adjusting, but it's fine. I'm not worried about that. It's the as long as it drives straight, goes in the right direction, I'm quite pleased with how it's turned out. So the only thing I've got left to do now, which is an upgrade, or possibly part of the reason why the fan went through the rad. On the M3 rad, you've got an M12, I think it is, by 1.5 thread in there. That's just a blanking plastic blanking plate to seal it up if you don't use it. So I've ordered a thermal switch. So when it gets up to temperature, or when it starts getting to, I think it's 95 degrees, it will earth the fan to give it power. So I won't have to leave the fan running all the time. It'll only come on when it's needed, when it starts getting hot. And it only tends to be at when you're waiting to get on stage, or if it's ticking over for a long time while stationary. So that means the fan won't be constantly on. Regardless of that, it's good that it's happened, because it was a problem, and it could have happened later on. You try and make the car as reliable as possible. So fingers crossed. I'll have to. So I can't put water in it until I've put the thermal switch in, and then it's all done. Right, I've put the bumper on. I've put antifreeze and water in the tank. I've taken it for a quick spin, and neither of the front indicators work. So when I took them apart, I had to take the bumper off to get the bulbs out and what have you. And the brackets that hold the bulbs were all rusty, and not surprisingly didn't work. So quick fix, I've just got the soldering iron out and done soldered to a bulb. I'll put some insulation tape around those. I'm going to put some spades on the ends and connect those up so they are in the actual indicators and should work. I'll put a bit of silicone in there just to hold them, stop them rattling about, and then order some new ones, or aftermarket ones, because it's just annoying that the fact the indicators stop working. So I'll put these back in. Good to go. Hopefully that will stop the having to get out every time I drive it and give them a bang to get them going again. But I will buy new lights. You can get reproduced lights now, and they're only cheap, so I'll buy a couple of them and stick them in. I did notice the bar at the front. I don't know, I think that's part of the sump bar. It's when we did the bars test about a year and a bit ago, it got towed up the hill because of the rear brakes locking on, and in my rush to build it I hadn't put a tow eye in it, so it's just bent all the front out, so that can be pushed back in, but the front end needs a little bit more work. We're still a bit close with the gap on this side, but we are getting another engine for it, which is a shame in a way because I kind of like it as it is. But the engine that's in it will get reused elsewhere, or maybe back in here. A friend of mine's built an engine. And he's going to be. We're going to put the engine. We've got this gearbox, which is a 6-speed sequential. That's going in, and he's going to use it for the rally, and we'll see how he gets on with it. Should be interesting. But I think this is done now. I'm going to take it down to the car wash. I'm going to jack it up and power wash inside the wheels because mud keeps falling off it and I need to get it off. Hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll update you next time I break it.